Go. All right. Here we are. Today, it appears we're live. It appears that we are live. Let me know if you guys can, you guys can hear me. How the audio is, All righty. Hello, Utah. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to come on here, I come on here today with the sole purpose of guaranteeing a Steelers win this weekend. I'm going to guarantee a Steelers win this weekend. I think it's 100% chance. I'm so serious. This is the get right game. This is a get right game for the Steelers. This is the game they have to win. This is the one. It's all coming together for them. I feel like the Saints, they're coming off a short week. They played Monday Night Football, lost to the Ravens, bro. Imagine losing to the Ravens. I couldn't imagine losing to the Ravens. That would be difficult. First of all, demoralizing loss to the Baltimore Ravens, and then they have a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 2-6 Pittsburgh Steelers, whatever. Rookie quarterback starting, whatever. They're not much of a threat. Steelers at home. TJ Watt coming back. I don't know, man. It seems a little bit. I don't know. I have a feeling. I'm just saying, guys. Don't me when the Pittsburgh Steelers defeat the New Orleans Saints by a score of 20-10 this Sunday. I'm telling you. Kenny Pickett coming out party. Kenny Pickett breakout game. I don't know about that. I don't know. I think, do we score 20 points? I don't know. I'm going to say yes. 20-10 final score. Pittsburgh Steelers win this weekend against the New Orleans Saints. You think Andy Dalton's beating the Steelers? We've owned Andy Dalton for a decade. You think he's going to come in to Heinz Field and beat the Steelers at home? I think it's ridiculous. The NFL.com picks that I post every week on my story, I always find those hilarious. It's about a 50-50 split. They're pretty split on who they want to pick. Dallas says 20-7 Saints win. I think it's got to be the get right game for the Steelers. If we lose this one, guys, coming off the bye with TJ back, what are we going to talk about? What is the conversation going to be? Because I truly, looking at our schedule, the second half of the season, it is ridiculously easy. It is just, we play the Saints, who have 2 wins. We play the Raiders on Christmas Eve, who have 2 wins. That game, I just know. That I'm going to be all happy, sitting next to the Christmas tree in my living room, and the Steelers are going to come on, and it's going to ruin my Christmas. I just have a bad feeling. Just a very, very bad feeling. We're in those block number jerseys. We got the Franco Harris 50-year Immaculate Reception patch. Those jerseys are tough. The fact that they're charging $190 for those on Steelers.com, terrible. But I feel like we should beat the Raiders. The Panthers and the Falcons, we should both beat. I feel like we'll lose to the Falcons, though. If we have to lose to one of those teams, I really do feel like it will be the Falcons. I think the Falcons is a little bit of a trap game. I don't think the Falcons are as bad as most people think. They refuse to pass the ball. All they do is run the ball, and we can't stop the run. We just can't. So I say Steelers. I'm still sticking by it. My final record prediction, 7-10. I think we're going to win a couple games down the stretch that we shouldn't because we have TJ Watt back. We always play tough in division. None of our division, we haven't really been embarrassed in a division game this year, have we? The Browns loss I felt like that was a lot closer. We lost by 12? I feel like that was a lot closer than it felt like. The Bengals game, we won that game. If we sweep the Bengals, bro, I'm going to be the most unbearable person on Instagram, probably. I'll be unbearable. That's all that matters to me is sweeping the Bengals. That'd be hilarious. Joe Burrow, he's so good. No. That's all I want. Cordero Patterson will rush for 300 yards against us. Yeah, everybody's mad. Alvin Kamara, he laid a goose egg in fantasy on Monday night. If you have Alvin Kamara this week, you're going to be a very happy camper, I think. He's gonna have a good bit of yards on us. I don't know. Plus, Mark Ingram's hurt too. I don't know. Alvin Kamara, big day. Joe Shiesty, Joe Burr. But yeah, guys, it's just, I feel like the Steelers will get right the second half of the season. I think TJ coming back. Matt Canada's not getting fired this season. We just got to get over that. We just got to roll with Matt Canada. So will we ever see this offense score more than 20 points? Maybe a couple times. We'll get lucky a couple weeks. But I don't think you'll see any big differences on the offensive side of the ball. But I do think you'll see a completely different defense. I'm going off the fact that week 1, we played in Cincinnati, and we looked like the best defense in the league, and it wasn't really close. I mean, we forced 5 turnovers. The Minkah Fitzpatrick legacy game. It was the most entertaining game of the season, which is terrible that they took it off of Sunday Night Football. Is it not? That is terrible. I get the Steelers suck, okay? We get it. We understand that, okay? They're not good this year, and that's fine. But you're going to take the Bengals game off of Sunday Night Football in Pittsburgh? It just doesn't seem right to me. Sure, Chargers, Chiefs, that's going to be it'll be a fun game. Mahomes and Herbert, 2 of the best in the game going at it. But I feel like I'd rather have a rivalry almost. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Chiefs, Chargers doesn't seem like a rivalry to me. I don't know. I just don't understand it. I never liked the flex thing. The flex thing was always very weird. And it only happens to Sunday Night Football games, which I hate even more. You can't flex Monday Night Football games. Oh, we play the Colts. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. We play the Colts in prime time. Whose idea was that? Who's going to want to watch the Steelers and the Colts on a Monday night? That is terrible. Imagine you just worked a long day at wherever you work, and you're like, oh, man, I wonder what the Monday Night Football game is. And it's Steelers-Colts. That's disgusting. I'm not looking forward to that one. Any chance we go undefeated? 11-6. 11-6 deep playoff run. Steelers won the division. That is true also. Chiefs and Chargers already got a primetime game. And this week, the Chargers are on Sunday Night Football. So you have the Chargers on Sunday Night Football 2 weeks in a row? I just don't see it. I don't get it. NBC should be ashamed of themselves. I don't get the move. I don't know. Realistic chances we sign Frank Reich to OC. Not in the middle of the season. I don't know. The Steelers usually don't make too many swings for big name coordinators. This would be a time in which you would think, maybe they'd be willing to experiment a little bit and go after someone like Frank Reich. But people are just grasping at straws at this point. I would love to hear some genuine names that people have for like OC. Like I think Frank Reich would be a great candidate. Andrew Filipponi tweeted out today. I don't know if anybody saw. He tweeted out Adam Gase as a possible replacement for Matt Canada. Adam Gase. And I thought that was hilarious. Could you imagine the memes if the Steelers hired Adam Gase as their next offensive coordinator? That would be funny to me. Now, Adam Gase he's a decent coordinator. I don't know. It would not be a good scene on Steelers Twitter or Steelers Instagram or this podcast in general if Adam Gase is the next offensive coordinator of Pittsburgh Steelers. Because we all know Adam Gase, quarterback whisperer. Who did he develop? Down in Miami, Ryan Tannehill, who's mid. Who did he develop in New York? Sam Darnold. He ruined Sam Darnold's career. But Justin Herbert, I love Justin Herbert. This is a Steelers podcast, but I love Justin Herbert. Probably my favorite quarterback in the league. He's just so good. Generational arm talent. He really, truly does remind me of Aaron Rodgers in the fact that he can just make any throw on the field. He's a little bit mobile. He's just, he's just him. He's generational. And he's the new age Aaron Rodgers, and I love me some Justin Herbert. So, I'll be watching Sunday Night Football. Don't get me wrong. I'll be watching Justin Herbert and the Niners Chargers-Niners, actually, this Sunday is a Sunday Night Football game. That was my preseason Super Bowl prediction. Is it holding up? Nah, not so much. But I do think the Niners can still get to the Super Bowl. And the Chargers, AFC's a gauntlet. AFC's just a gauntlet. I don't know. Duck Hodges is better than Kenny Pickett. Changed my mind. Duck Hodges has more career touchdown passes than Kenny Pickett. That's your fact for the day. It's a fact. I actually have a Duck Hodges jersey in the mail. It'll be here tomorrow. That's the leak. Probably gonna go live on Instagram and open it with like Halo music or something. Make it all funny, because that's hilarious. I've been looking for a Duck Hodges jerseys for years, guys, and I just found one on Mercari. I had someone DM me. Actually, one of my followers DM'd me, and they sent me a picture of it, and I'm like, "What website is that?" Because I'd never seen it. In Mercari, bro. So we have a Duck Hodges jersey in transit on its way to my location. So, all right. What do I want to talk about? Going down the stretch here this season. Let's pull up the Steelers. Found it interesting on ESPN this week. The FPI gives us a 37% chance to win. 37. I don't get it. What do the Saints do that's genuinely better than us? Run the football. Okay, they have Andy Dalton starting. Their weapons are not better than us. Michael Thomas out for the year. Chris Olave is a very good football player, but I think overall our receivers are a little bit better. If it were any other year, we'd genuinely have a shot to win out. Yes, but unfortunately, we don't have Ben anymore. We just don't. What do you want to see out of Kenny Pickett the second? What do I out of the second half of the year? Kenny Pickett, I just want to see something. Honestly, like I want to see growth. People think I'm very critical of Kenny Pickett, and I am very critical of Kenny Pickett. I will be the first to tell you that. But I think it's for a good reason. He gets put in, and I was saying all along the beginning of the season that he never should have gone in. He shouldn't go in until after the bye week. Because are you going to make him start against Buffalo, Philadelphia, the Dolphins on prime time, and then somebody else, I'm forgetting, some other playoff team that whooped us? It's just, I think the entire quarterback situation this season was botched by Mike Tomlin, and I think Kenny Pickett was even caught a little bit off guard by it. I mean, what else do you want to say? 2 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. How many turnover-worthy plays he has, I don't care. Turnover-worthy plays are a made-up stat, much like pass rush win rate. I'm not sure how you measure it, but do you think in 5 years anybody's going to care how many turnover-worthy plays Kenny Pickett had in his rookie year? Anyways, I just want to see growth. I want to see a little bit of leadership. I do think the schedule, to be fair, the schedule was extremely rough, and that was my whole point for not starting him until after the bye week from the get-go. But I think now you want to see some wins. You want to see a little bit of growth. You want to see him take care of the football better. He said earlier today that that's his main priority the second half of the season is to take care of the football. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. He should probably learn that interceptions are bad and that he shouldn't throw them. I think that's a fair assumption to make, Kenny, and I appreciate that. I want more than a 1 touchdown Kenny game. Well, I think you'll see maybe you'll see one this weekend. I don't know. This just feels like, the Saints passed on Kenny Pickett twice this draft. Maybe he's got a little bit of chip on his shoulder. I'm sure the whole time he was like, I want to go to Pittsburgh. That was probably, hometown hero, blah, 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 whatever. New Orleans passed on him twice. And I really thought New Orleans was going to take a quarterback in the draft. I really, really did. But they passed on one twice, and they probably should have taken one, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, Jameis Winston, Andy Dalton, that's more of a mid-quarterback room than the Steelers have, and we probably have one of the most mid-quarterback rooms I've ever seen in my life. But more than 1 touchdown from Kenny Pickett, I don't know. I feel like Jaylen Warren, I do think Jaylen Warren hype is real, and I think he will be more involved this weekend. Najee getting completely faded out of the offense, I don't think will happen. I think, the Steelers don't like to admit that they make bad draft picks. They tend to keep them a little bit longer than they probably should. Devin Bush, we're giving him a lot of chances. We even signed Miles Jack to make him look better. And it's working. It's working, but we're kind of, patching our mistakes. You know what I mean? We're kind of patching our mistakes. Devin Bush, you want another example? Jarvis Jones, he was a starter for 2 years, but luckily we got rid of him. He's probably one of the worst Steelers draft picks ever. Artie Burns started for 3 years. Artie Burns in Seattle, though. Shout out Seattle. Shout out Geno Smith, Tariq Woolen, DK Metcalf, all them. I love Seattle this year. They are so much fun to watch, and it just makes me happy. Shout out Seattle. Yeah, guys. Steelers schedule rest of the way out. Let's look at it. Let's go game by game. Because I said 7-10. I think 7-10 is very realistic. I don't think it's too crazy to where I'm saying, we're sweeping the Bengals and we're sweeping the Ravens. Like, you got to be a little bit conservative, I feel like, here. The Saints, I guarantee that is a win. I guarantee. Bengals, I feel like an L. Unfortunately. I'm gonna be a nice guy, and I'm gonna say it's an L. I'm gonna be conservative. As much as I would love to sweep Cincinnati, and as unbearable I will be on social media when we do sweep Cincinnati, I'm gonna say that's an L. Now, Colts Monday Night Football. If we don't beat the Colts and Jeff Saturday, it is going to be bad. It is going to be a very bad scene. That's a W. Falcons, L. Falcons, L. I do feel like that's a trap game. I do. Ravens, December 11th. I'm going. I will be there. It's a W. Panthers, that's another W. Ooh, Raiders, Christmas Eve. I worry about this game. I really do. I really want, how happy it would make me to wake up on Christmas morning and know the Steelers won the night before. That would just be wonderful. It's going to be an unbeatable vibe sitting by the Christmas tree watching the Steelers. It's just going to be a wonderful day in general. But the Raiders kind of own us. As difficult as it is, the Raiders kind of own us, bro. So I worry about this game. I think it's a trap game. I think the Raiders will get better down the stretch. I think the Raiders can score, and they have been all year. It's just they can't hold on to leads. Lucky for them, the Steelers don't score, and they don't have leads ever. So I'm counting that as an L. And the last 2 games of the year, what am I at right now? So we have 2. Saints W, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, dude. I feel like we'll lose to Baltimore in Baltimore. And then we'll beat Cleveland. We're not getting swept by Cleveland. Deshaun Watson. That's our first game against Deshaun Watson. We're going to beat Deshaun Watson. What's the Steelers' record for games you've attended? Games that I've attended. We have not lost a game that I've attended since the 2017 Jaguars game. Divisional game. I went to the divisional Jaguars game, and that was it was a great game to go to. Great atmosphere. Very cold. Wonderful game. But it was depressing. It was depressing at the end. But we have not lost since then. So every game I've went to since that 2017 on. So in 5 years, the Steelers are undefeated in 5 years when Joey goes. So when I'm there this weekend, W. December 11th with Parker and Neil, W. It's going to happen, guys. We're going to beat Lamar Jackson. We're beating the Colts because we own them. We also do own the Colts. I feel like the Colts is a guaranteed W also. That has the Joey guarantee on that one too. But this Saints game does too. The stars are aligning. It's a new day in Pittsburgh. We're gonna turn the season around and finish 7-10 and miss out on a truly elite draft prospect. I can't wait. It's just the Steeler way coming full circle, guys. It really is simply the Steeler way coming full circle. How are we stopping Devontae Adams? Yeah, James Pierre. I heard James Pierre was taking first team reps in practice this week. We're in danger. We're in danger if James Pierre is our best corner, guys. I don't like it. James Pierre is not very good. Our corners aren't very good in general. I do think we go corner first round. I feel like that's the move, unfortunately. As much as I'd love an elite prospect, I feel it's going to come down to like, we're going to be picking like 13th, 14th. I feel like, corner, whatever the first corner is going to be there, Keely Ringo, Kool-Aid McKinstry. You never know. But Chase Claypool trade, guys, I didn't go live last week. I didn't get to talk about the Chase Claypool trade. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. I am so happy Chase Claypool is not on this football team anymore. You heard me and Amin first couple podcasts, if you listened. Me and Amin always talked about how we found it odd how many Chase Claypool's a fan favorite, and we weren't really sure why. Because Amin had a theory that it's because he wears a cool number and he's young and he's on TikTok, he's cool. He's kind of an ass. At training camp, my dad said that, he was around people and he was like, "Oh, I only sign for people that wear my jersey. Like, I'm not buying a Chase Claypool jersey. I don't know about you guys. I would never." They're down to $60 on Steelers Shop. If any of you guys want a good Christmas present for any of your loved ones, get you a Chase Claypool jersey on Steelers Shop. $60 for a Vapor Elite official. That's a $130 jersey for $60. Chase Claypool. Any of you Claypool fans out there. But I love it because I love the trade. We get back our investment on him. We drafted him in the second round. He was good his rookie year. He wasn't working out. He was kind of, a behavior issue. He was kind of faded out of the offense completely, except for the second half of that Bucks game, my Super Bowl, the Tampa Bay Bucks game, where did he have 100 yards? I don't think he had 100 yards, but he got damn close. But maybe in Chicago they play music at practice, so maybe that'll make Chase happy. Best of luck to Chase in Chicago. Obviously, I just find it funny that he got 13 yards this past Sunday. And they did run a jet sweep. The jet sweep to Claypool never dies. It never dies. You guys think it's a joke. I'm so serious. It never dies. They ran one rush for 4 yards. That is about the most Chase Claypool way thing I have ever seen. He had 96 in the Bucks game. Okay, so close, but not quite. He literally had one career 100-yard game, and I believe it's the Eagles game, where he had 4 touchdowns his rookie year, and we all thought he was, him. We all started turning my Claypool jersey into a Mitch jersey. If you don't have a Mitchell Trubisky jersey, what are you doing? We go 8-9, break the streak of winning season, miss out on a good prospect. So we reach on Joey Porter Jr. because it's the Steeler way. I like this. Joey Porter Jr. is a great corner, and it just makes too much sense for him to be a Steeler almost, Mike Tomlin and Kevin Colbert. This might be a little bit different under Omar Khan. We don't know what Omar is going to do. I love the way Omar does business. Love the way he did the trade deadline. We made some moves. Love the way he gets contracts done in a timely manner. But I think I'm worried to see how he drafts. I really am. I'm scared. I hate the way the Steelers draft normally. Joey Porter Jr. just makes sense because, former Steelers son, it just adds up, and I hate that it adds up. I hope he's a good player if we draft him, but it almost makes too much sense. He had 130 and 2 touchdowns against the Broncos last season. Did he? I was at that game. I know he had a good game. Did he have 100? Maybe he has 2 career 100-yard games. Maybe I'm losing my mind. You might be right about that because that makes sense because I do remember him going crazy. I remember I met Amin at that game. That was the first time me and Amin met. And Amin is just as crazy as me. Like, whenever he goes to a game, he'll go super early and see all the players drive their cars in, try to talk to them. It's a lot of fun. But he said pregame, or not pregame, he said the night before, he found out what hotel they go to, right? We know the hotel the Steelers stay in before home games, right? And apparently Amin went in there and was like looking around and he got a bunch of pictures of players like Ray McLeod, Steelers legend, Chase Claypool, Steelers legend. And he said on a whiteboard in an office, he claimed that on a whiteboard where they had the meetings, it said Claypool in big, bright red letters, and it had a circle around it. And I thought he was full of shit. I'll be the first to admit, I thought, whatever. Claypool had a big game. So for what it's worth, Amin knew. And shout out Chase Claypool, Steelers legend. Oh my God. At least Deontay Pickens and Freiermuth get more looks now. I just want to feed Pickens. There is legitimately zero reason why George Pickens does not get 10 looks a game at least. There is no reason. And I'm hoping that that's what they're doing by trading Claypool. They're going to give different people more opportunities, Hopefully they give George Pickens some more targets, because that one drive against the Dolphins where he scored the touchdown, he looked like a world beater. Nobody could cover him. And then we didn't even look his way the rest of the game. And we threw the game away and lost. And it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me why we aren't targeting him more. I think he will be more involved. Steven Sims in the slot, whatever that's worth. Steven Sims, I don't know how I feel about him. But I also feel like the Steelers might have a little bit of a need at receiver. Will they take an early round receiver? Maybe with one of the second round picks, I would look at a receiver. Free agency, maybe they bring in a vet, because Deontay's still pretty young. I don't know. And Pickens, he's very good, but we haven't really seen a whole lot because he don't get the ball, and it's terrible. He doesn't get the ball in an offense that sucks. Feed him. Give your best players the ball. Quit giving Najee Harris the ball. He is not good. I'm sorry. I feel like Deontay is going to leave after this season. I don't think, that would be a lot of dead cap. If we got for Deontay, I'd want a first. I would want a first round pick for Deontay. All that dead cap, you'd almost have to get a first rounder in return. You'd have to. Steven Sims is AB Jr. because he wears the same mouth guard and he kind of runs the same. Wasn't his second year an option? Deontay? No. He's a 4-year extension, I believe, because he's still on his rookie contract this year. This year, he's still on his rookie contract. But next year, he starts his second contract and he's getting paid a little bit. So he's going to be a Steeler for a while, and it wouldn't make sense to trade him first year of the contract. I'm not the biggest Deontay fan. We all know this. He's very inconsistent. But, he's going to be on the team for a little bit. And I hope he progresses, continues to be a wide receiver one. Maybe he'll catch some passes for my fantasy team, Deontay. Please do that. Because he's been disappointing this year. Very disappointing. But, we can blame the quarterbacks for that if you guys want. But I feel like nobody can have a rational conversation so far about Kenny Pickett. Nobody can have a rational conversation. And I want to attempt to have a rational conversation about Kenny Pickett, guys. I want to attempt. I'm going to attempt. We're going to see how this goes. Kenny Pickett, 20th overall. 19 teams passed on him. Steelers, hometown kid, great story. Everybody has high expectations. I want him to be the franchise quarterback. I do. I hope he's wonderful. And he comes in and he wins. I hope he wins. I hope he throws some more touchdowns. I'd love to see some multiple touchdown games. That would really get me excited. I'd like to see him use his legs a little bit more. I'd like to see some, better pocket presence. But what do we think Kenny Pickett's upside is, genuinely? Because I don't know what Kenny Pickett is great at. I think he's okay to good at, a good bit of things. He's got okay arm talent. He's okay at running. He's okay pocket presence. What is his ceiling? Because when you make a comparison, when you try to compare an NFL prospect to a current player in the NFL, people get mad whenever you don't compare him to, Peyton Manning. People get angry, and it's hilarious to me. People get People get angry. My NFL comp for Kenny Pickett is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones. Yes, somebody said it in chat. I think it's very fair. I think Kenny Pickett and Daniel Jones, they really do remind me of each other. I mean, arm talent, it's there, I guess. It's okay. Running, they're okay. I guess. They can win if they have a great coach and a great system around them. We don't have any identity on offense, a good coordinator, and we have a defensive-minded head coach. So I think Daniel Jones is a fair comparison, and I don't know at what point the experiment boils over. Because I'll be honest with you guys, if we have, I don't expect us to. I still expect us to win 7 games. I think we're going to miss out on a top 10 pick. But if we play bad enough and we continue to lose games and we're staring down a top 5 pick, I'm taking a quarterback. I'm sorry. I've always said you give me 8 games, I know exactly what a quarterback is. You're giving Kenny Pickett 12 games, you will know exactly what Kenny Pickett is in 12 games. Surely, you'll know his ceiling. You'll see how he plays against these bottom-tier defenses. We've seen how he plays against top-tier defenses. Not very good. Not that you'd expect a whole lot out of a rookie, but you'd expect a little bit better than 8 interceptions, right? I don't think that's crazy to say. I just think if we have a top 4 pick, if we currently hold the 4th pick in the draft, if we have the 4th pick in the draft in April, I am looking quarterback. And I am so serious. I have no time to wait. I couldn't imagine how bad Kenny Pickett would have to play the second half of the season, as easy as this schedule is. There are some tough ones. There's, the Raiders game Christmas Eve. That's a tough one. He's got to play, the Bengals, Ravens twice, Browns. There are some good divisional games in there. We'll get to see what he's got, definitely, I think. But if he doesn't win any of these games and we're still staring down a top 5 draft pick come April, I'm looking at quarterbacks. I don't have time to wait. I don't have time to see him in a second year in a new system with some hired from within coordinator. Stroud and Young are not there after the 3. No way. It just really depends, I think. Because the Texans, everybody wants to pin the Texans down as taking a quarterback. I don't know that I'd take a quarterback if I was the Texans. They have a lot bigger need than quarterback, right? The Lions, they need defense. Jared Goff, you know what Jared Goff is, but do you take? I don't know. I just feel like they have a lot bigger holes. And what are the Steelers' holes? Corner, things that you can fix in free agency more so than draft. I truly don't think there's a truly elite corner in this draft. We've gotten spoiled the last couple years with very good corners in the draft. Sauce Gardner, by the way, defensive player of the year. Forget defensive rookie of the year. Sauce Gardner is my defensive player of the year right now. He's absurd. He is a top 5 corner in the NFL right now. And it is insane what he has done to that New York defense. How about Will Levis? Will Levis is he's gonna be the controversial one out of this class. I'll tell you that much. I like Will Levis. I do. I like the system he's in Kentucky. Will Levis is kind of a project, I think. I don't know that Will Levis is a guy you start year 1, is he? I feel like he comes in, middle of his rookie year, maybe he sits a full year even, but I like Will Levis a lot. I like Will Levis. I like Bryce Young a lot. I think he's clear-cut number 1. He is just so smart. It's unreal. The way he maneuvers the pocket, his field presence, his rocket arm. I want a quarterback with a rocket arm and is just smart. That's all I want. Kenny Pickett, smart, rocket arm, not there. It's not there, guys. I'm sorry. No way we take quarterback the first pick. No, I'm saying me personally, I'm looking quarterback. I'm looking quarterback if we're picking top 5. But if we have, a good season, and I don't know, I feel like we have to win less than 6 games to even like have this conversation. And I think we'll win some games down the stretch, and we'll win more than 5 to 6 games. 24 is old for a project quarterback. I don't know that project quarterback's the right word. Maybe I shouldn't have said project. He has a high ceiling, but he's very boomer bust, I feel like. He's going to be the guy that's like, if you put him in the right system, he's going to be awesome, but he's not going to be great if you stick him in, with the Steelers with Matt Canada. He'd be bad probably. Is there any good lineman this year? Best tackle in the draft is probably Paris Johnson Jr. from Ohio State, who I like a good bit. But I'd even argue, I don't know if I said this 2 weeks ago. I truly think the offensive line is one of the best units on the Steelers team. I really think it's up there. If you look at all of our units, I think the offensive line is pretty good. I think Mason Cole and James Daniels have stepped in, and they've done a pretty damn good job for being free agent signings. They've done a good job. I think Chuks Okorafor, we may not like him. He's pretty good. Dan Moore, he's showing flashes, I think. Kevin Dotson, not very good. But I feel like it's one of the stronger units on our team. Like, what's better? Safeties. Our corners are not good. Our D-line is not very good. Cam Hayward's been underperforming. Tyson Alualu, he's retiring after this year. Linebackers are maybe, you could argue linebackers, I guess, if you wanted to. Pass rush is probably better. Receivers, I don't know. Receivers are so inconsistent for me. I feel like our wide receiver core is very overrated to this point. Running backs are not better. Quarterback room definitely isn't better. I feel like the offensive line is a pretty decent unit on this team, as sad as it is. They may be decent, and I think you're right. They're decent. They're all replaceable, but I think decent might be good enough almost at this point. I feel like decent's kind of the name of the game. All we want to see Kenny Pickett be is decent, and we won't even have to have a quarterback talk. What happened to Kendrick Green? He's not very good at football. He's not very good at... Kendrick Green's an interesting man. Kendrick Green has a burner Instagram account. This was brought to my attention by one of my followers about, let's say May, so 6 months ago. He has a burner Instagram account with about 30 followers that one of my followers somehow found and followed. Maybe he's a friend of Kendrick Green. I'm not quite certain. But he sent me some posts from this account. And it's all talking about how Kendrick Green cheats on his baby mama. Which I like, it's not funny. Don't cheat on your baby mama, guys. But Kendrick Green is just an interesting man, you know? You want him to be good. We drafted him, 3rd round, and we kind of forced him to play a position he really isn't comfortable with. But Kendrick Green just isn't very good, and he doesn't seem like too good of a guy. You know, he's got a burner Instagram. Who's got a burner Instagram here? My honest reaction, that picture of Green, in the bathrobe where he's sitting on the car with all those girls, and the caption is Hugh Hefner, he like my daddy. That's a top 5 post on Instagram all time. I'll be honest, I love that post. If Kendrick Green ever starts a game again, or if he gets cut or something, I'm posting that picture on my story and saying, thank you, legend. Like, Kendrick Green, hilarious. He's so memeable, but he's just not very good at football, not a good guy. And what are we looking for? We're looking for guys that are good guys and guys that are good at football. And I don't think that I don't think that Kendrick Green's either of them. We're down bad. We're down so bad. We're talking about the offensive line, it's very mid, probably very middle of the pack. I don't think it's the absolute worst in the league, but I think it's very middle of the pack at best. And we're talking about it being one of the best units on our team. He still wears 53. Whose idea was it to give him 53? I just want a word. I just want just a word with him. I don't get it. He gets Pouncey's 53. I don't get it in the slightest. Oh my goodness. So I don't know that I really touched on Najee a whole lot. Najee Harris, there's been reports, Mike Tomlin, he was asked about Najee, obviously, because he's underperforming, and Mike Tomlin gave, a Tomlinism, talked about the division of labor, and they'll do what they feel is appropriate in terms of the division of labor between Najee and Jaylen Warren. I think Jaylen Warren will get more involved this week. I do. I think this is a week. I think it'll be more of a 50-50 split. Kind of a wake-up call for Najee, do your job, do a little bit better. He just doesn't look the same, whether he's hurt or not. We're not certain. If you're hurt, shut yourself down. There's got to be a point in which you're like, all right, I'm hurt. I can't play. Shut me down. And I think Jaylen Warren will get involved more. I think he's a better pass-catching back. And that's partially why you're seeing Najee's production decrease, because Ben just dumped it off to Najee a lot last year. And I think Jaylen Warren can be that guy for Kenny Pickett. We're going to have a little bit of a 1-2 punch. We need some kind of ground game to get going so we can push the ball down the field. We want to see what Kenny Pickett has. We want to see his arm strength. We want to see what that is. If it's NFL level, I think it's NFL level. I'm starting to think now that if we didn't win a chip with our goated O-line and AB, Ben and Bell, how long are we going to be waiting? We're going to be waiting a little bit, unfortunately. I think we're going to be waiting a little bit. Another Tomlinism, Rome wasn't built in a day. That's not a Tomlinism, but he says that all the time, and I always think it's funny. Rome wasn't built in a day. Have patience. I'm losing patience, and this is our first losing season since I was born, and I'm already losing patience, and I'm sick of it, to be quite honest with you. I want them to split carries for the rest of the year, but that will never happen. I think you're going to see direct 50-50. I think it'll be close, very, very, very close to 50-50 this weekend. I think they're at a point in which they want to win some games. They don't want to be picking top 5 because that's not the Steeler way. The last time we picked top 10 was when we traded up for Devin Bush, and we all saw how that turned out. So I don't know that we're necessarily the team that should be drafting, that high, because we suck at drafting, guys. Let's be honest. Najee, that's kind of a whiff to this point. Kenny, we don't know. I'm not gonna talk about Kenny. I'm not gonna say he's a bust because that'd just be ridiculous to this point. Najee, bust. Devin Bush, very limited. He's been playing okay. I still think he was picked top 10 and he's underperformed. We're gonna call him a bust at this point. Edmonds, he was a reach. He's a solid player. I wouldn't straight up call him a bust, but that's kind of an 2018, we could have done better. 17, TJ Watt, greatest player of all time. And that's it. I truly think that getting TJ Watt back makes this team completely different. It shifts the mood, the atmosphere in the locker room. Everything from the top down gets better with TJ Watt, and you're going to see a different Steelers team in the second half. That's why I predict 7 wins. I think it's funny. I say all of this. I'm like, the atmosphere, it's different. And then I say 7 wins. But I think 7's very optimistic at this point, guys. I feel like 7's almost too generous. I feel like I'm being a little bit biased. Like I have a little bit too much faith in this team. But I think 7 wins a very fair number. 7's very fair. Tomlinations 2-6. If Najee had the best O-line in football, would he be top 5? Top 5, I don't know. Best offensive line in football makes you look pretty good. Top 5, sure. Let's say he would be top 5 if he had the best offensive line in the league, because it'd be hard not to be top 5 with the best offensive line in the league. The amount of excitement I had for our first game compared to now is insane. The first game of the season really built us up. I feel like that game, probably the most entertaining NFL game all season. I don't think that's crazy to say. That was the most fun I have had watching the Steelers all year, easily. easily all year. And now we're here, and we're just praying for a win, guys. That's all we're praying for. I think the defense will be back to prime form. TJ Watt. How many sacks does TJ Watt have? Does anybody know? I want to say he had like 2 at least week 1. Because the NFL leader right now has 11. How absurd would it be if TJ Watt caught up? How absurd of a statement is it to say that TJ Watt will catch up? All right, let's go stats. He has 1 sack. Okay, so he's 10 sacks behind the NFL lead. Okay. I don't think that's going to happen. But wouldn't it be fun? That would make me happy. Let me have something. Let me have something. I'm grabbing at straws here, guys. I'm grabbing at any sort of excitement to have. And it's just not there this year. He catches up this week. TJ Watt will get a couple of sacks. He'll get 2 at least this weekend. He'll go crazy. The defense will force a couple turnovers. The home crowd will get into it. Andy Dalton will be rattled. Andy Dalton will get flashbacks to playing at Cincinnati. The flashbacks to that playoff game. Jeremy Hill fumble. Ryan Shazier forced a fumble. That was our last. No, that was not our last playoff win. Never mind. But I think Andy Dalton just gets flashbacks. It's not an Andy. No Andy Dalton revenge game. No. Steelers going to win the Super Bowl. Steelers win the Super Bowl in the next decade. That's the Joey guarantee. They win the Super Bowl in the next decade. So yeah, guys, Steelers win this weekend. Beat the Saints. It's a guarantee. I think I'm going to wrap it up for the evening. I think we're going to wrap it up. Next week, I'm going to try to have somebody on. I like interacting with chat more, and I need to figure out how to do that and have people on at the same time, but we're still learning. I like middle of the week podcasts better than I like the Monday podcasts, I will say. I feel like Monday I'm still a little bit depressed after the game, and it's too close. It's too close to talk about a lot of things. Middle of the week, we're going to talk about injuries, other things. We can digress, things like that. Get Parker. That's who it's going to be Parker next week. Okay, you guys figured it out. We're going to get Parker on here next week. That'll be fun. That'll digress into less of a Steelers podcast and more of us just fucking around. But that'll be fun, I think. I love Parker. Who in the AFC North will win the Super Bowl first, in your opinion? The Steelers. Ravens, Lamar's leaving after this year. Okay, Lamar is a Miami Dolphin after this year. No, he's not a Dolphin. He's let's say for the sake of conversation, he's a Colt. Bengals are frauds. They're not any good. I'm sorry. Ravens are winning the division this year, and then they're going to get bounced in the divisional like usual. Bengals might sneak in wild card. I hate the Bengals. Out of all the teams, I think I hate the Bengals the most right now. Quite easily. I think the Bengals are easily the most hateable. I can't stand anything about them. I can't stand the fans. I can't stand Joe Burrow. I couldn't stand last February when they were in the Super Bowl. That was the worst shit of all time. That was terrible. Lamar is a Steeler next year. I got to post the Lamar. If Lamar becomes a free agent, I'm posting the Lamar Jackson Steelers jersey swap. That is one of the most cursed images on the internet. But it's going to happen. But yeah, next week, guys, we'll be here. Probably Wednesday. I'm thinking Wednesday's a good day to do this. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe. I don't know. Start posting videos like Deke, giving the Steelers news. Bring a little bit of humor into it, have some fun with it. But anyways, I appreciate everybody watching. It's a lot of fun, as always. I enjoy interacting with the chat. And, Jags, hello, Mr. Danky. Love you too, man. But I appreciate everybody stopping by this evening, talking some Steelers, as always. I have a lot of fun doing it. And I'll see you guys next week. I'm guaranteeing the Steelers win. Guaranteeing the Steelers win this weekend against the New Orleans Saints. Bad news for Andy Dalton. TJ Watt woke up this morning. See you guys.